Hello everyone, my name is Livio Shinaga and I'm going to walk you through the 3D Viewer hands-on. After the course, thank you very much for attending the course. You probably received a link that has a file like this, a folder. It's the 2022 Skyn Certification Package 3.0. So when you open this folder, you download the link and then you bring this to your computer. And when you open this folder, we're going to have some subfolders. And today we're going to go through this first one, is the 3D Viewer hands-on. There are other folders here and other videos will explain how to work with them. But today, this is the folder we're going to work on. So the 3D Viewer hands-on, let's double click here and let's find what's inside. First, the folder is called 3D Viewer for PC. Remember, this is a 3D Viewer software. The name already says what it does. We can view 3D files, and it only works on a PC. So you don't need an extremely powerful PC for the viewer. You need a powerful PC for scanning or for designing in 3D. But here you're not going to design anything. We're just going to view. So I'm going to go and double click on initial. So here you have the file to set it up, to install. It's a free software from 3Shape. But down here we have 3 files which we're going to use to do our hands-on. So the first file we're going to open is initial. Just double click or select initial and click enter. But I'm going to double click and immediately it's going to open the initial file. So I have here this screen, this window is going to pop up in your screen. And then you have the initial file. This is an STL. So with my mouse, I have the wheel, the mouse wheel. I can go zoom out and zoom in, just roll the wheel back and forth. If you hold the wheel, if you press the wheel also is a button. If you press the wheel, you can then pan. So pan and zoom, pan and zoom. So then you can centralize. Also, when you're zooming in, depends where your mouse is. If I put the mouse on this canine, then this is going to become my center. If I zoom out and I put my mouse on this lateral, this lateral will be zoomed in as the central point, at the center of my screen. So I can just show where I want to zoom in, and then the mouse, by rolling the wheel back and forth, you can zoom in. Now, if you hold your right key, if you press the right button of your mouse, then you can rotate. And it's a little funny in the beginning because the rotation doesn't obey your movements, but it's just a matter of training. My tip here is that you can just, look front, and I say, I want to see occlusal. So have in mind, give yourself a command and try to get to the occlusion as fast as you can. I want to see from the lateral side, from the right side of the patient. So immediately here, and I want to give a little bit angled here. Great. So you can train this navigation by pressing the right button of your mouse and then rotating the file. So zoom in, zoom out, pan, and rotation. You have full control of your 3D object right there. So now let's start exploring the menu. On the upper right side, you have this slider. It's a slider because I can move this golden ball, this sphere, and I can go to the left and to the right. This is the transparency of the object. So if I do this, now I see my objects transparent. Okay, and this is very useful when I want to superimpose another object, and I want to see the transparency through one of the objects here. So we just opened the initial file, and that's why we only have one slider here. This one makes it visible or invisible, exactly in the transparency that you can set it up. So when I make it invisible, you can see this ball becomes black and white. When I make it visible, it goes back to golden color. And here I can again control the transparency. and I have this red X. If I click here, this object is going to be deleted from my viewer, not deleted from your computer. Don't be afraid, but it will be deleted from our viewer. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it, and it's done. It's gone. How can I bring it back another time, another object? I can go and File, Open, and then you have to browse your computer to find the file. Here is in this folder. I'm going to click Initial. It gives you a little preview of the file you're looking for, and then Open. And there you go. We have the file open back again. Okay, so slider. This is the functionality of this icon here. Now, there are many other icons here. I would like to show you the most used ones. So first, let's go to the second set of icons. This is frontal view. This is the rear view. This is the right view. This is the left view. This is the top view. So, and the bottom, of course. So this is very useful because in the beginning, you are going to be a little bit lost. And I'm here looking to some detail here. And then I want to see this from the occlusal. So it's the bottom view. So we just go here, occlusal. Immediately takes you to a starting position. You cannot set these views, but you can definitely, when you bring the file, it'll be oriented in a way that the axis, which is the first icon here, it'll show you the three axes, the X, Y, and Z, and this is how the orientation will be guiding those views here. So I don't need the axis there. I can just turn it off, and I have the views according to the position. And you can see how smooth the transition is. And this is very useful when I am with a patient and we just scan the patient. Usually the scanner is on a PC in the office, in the dental chair. And then let's say you have an office that the patient will sit on a table, and I suggest very much that you install a 55-inch 4K or 8K TV on the wall, and then you can connect your local PC to this TV, have a wireless mouse and keyboard on top of your table, and everything that you open, that you scan the patients in your dental chair, you can export, and then you can open with 3D Viewer. So 3D Viewer can be installed. It's free software in any computer in your office, and you can just use this to speak with the patient. So if I'm speaking to the patient very quickly, I can already highlight some areas. I can show and I can point with my mouse, so I can really demonstrate for my patient a lot of details of his intraoral situation. So a communication tool, not only for the patient, but also I can use this connected to a Zoom meeting, connecting to my lab or to my colleague specialist, and both of you can discuss details of your case. So very useful tool for online synchronized communication. Okay, let's. I'm just going to bring this window out and show you another way to bring more items here. If I just select, I'm going to select both of these items here, and I'm going to drop, just drag and drop in this screen, in this window. So immediately now, I'm going to maximize my screen. Immediately now, I can see here I have 3 items. So I have here the initial was the first one. Then I have the second item, which is a veneer. And then I have the third icon that instead of a ball, it's a little scanner. That is the preparation. So I can choose what to see. If I just want to see the initial, there you go. If I want to see the preps, but then I can make the initial like transparent, so I know how much of my preparation was done. Beautiful, huh? And now I can zoom in, I can highlight my veneer. and maybe I don't want the initial anymore, and I want to check the adaptation of my veneer to my prep. And I can make my veneer semi-transparent, and I can see from all angles how this veneer is designed and adapted to my prep. So see, if we look from a 12 o'clock view here, and this is why we do not take this photo anymore from the 12 o'clock view, because now we have the scanner and the intraoral scan. So you can, of course, take the photos if you want. But if you have the scanner, you can have all the intraoral photos in a much better situation here, because I can measure and I can change the angle in the visualization. So it's a much more powerful documentation rather than a very long and exhaustive protocol for photography. So here I want to take out the veneer, and I'm going to bring the initial one. So through my initial, I can see, let me put just, I'm being guided by the palette, and this is the patient. So the patient has this tooth a little bit, inclined. But here, knowing this view, seeing this view from this perspective, I can see that my preps is going to be guided. My prep strategy is going to be guided by this 3D project. So before I prep this patient, I can have basically my project, which can be my veneer, and I can have the initial. So then I will know exactly how much I have to prep. Look at here. So this is the initial and the veneer, and I can see that I'm going to prep a little bit more here and a little bit less here because I have more space, because my project is defining where to prep. My project is also defining on this diastema what's going to happen. So I can see that on this diastema, the lateral is going to be much more invasive to the diastema than the central. So we're not sharing 50-50% here. And it depends on the project. Now, if I go 11 to 21, then, 21 is taking more space. 11 is taking, 21 is taking more space than 11, because basically doing this, I am rotating the whole mouth and reestablishing the zenith of each tooth. So this visualization mode, the initial with the project, not only one veneer, but you can have the whole mock-up here. Ask your lab to send you all this. So before you prep, just bring your initial, bring your project, making it transparent, and you can then visualize from all kinds of views and make sure that you know what to do in each tooth. Now, I'm going to suggest you to also install another TV on the wall of your dental chair in a way that is very comfortable for you to look at this wall, to look at this TV while you're prepping. So just raise your head and you should be able to see the TV. So many projects, we install the TV behind the patient, behind the back, the wall that is behind the head of the patient. They say, well, but the patient is not going to see that TV. Well, it's not for the patient, it's for you. So imagine when you're going to prep this case, then you can bring the project, making it semi-transparent, and analyze tooth by tooth. Here we only have the crown for the 21, but you can analyze tooth by tooth. And here you can also see, what is this gray area here? This means that before you even place the mock-up, this is an area that we have to, it's an invasive area. It's the project, the final project, means that we're going to be before this area in this mount. So basically what you can do is visually see this area, and you can already, before placing the mock-up the day of preparation, you can already make a reduction here. Do I need a guide, a printed guide to do a reduction here? No, it's impossible. Because not impossible, but it's not feasible, because look, I'm going to show you now another command. This is a 2D cross-section, exactly this icon here. And in this icon, it's going to open a window here, which is a cross-section. So I have my project, my model here, and I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to try to make this line as straight as possible. Make sure the model is facing you. The tooth you're going to analyze is perpendicular to your screen. And then I can do the same here. By pressing my mouse wheel, I can pan and zoom this file. So see, I have 3 items here. I have 3 lines. So this third icon is the initial, the preparation. And exactly here, I have the initial, that's the midline. Then I have my veneer, and I have my preparation. Okay, so this means I have a cut, a slice. I am doing a cross section and looking from the side exactly here. And I can then move this line, which is a plane, not a line. I can move on top of this gray area. And let's see how this behaves in my 2D visualization. If I zoom in right here, look, my initial is beyond my veneer. That means that all this needs to be reduced before I put the mockup for preparation. All of our preparations will be guided by the mockup, but will be first guided by this digital guide, which will define for us the preparation strategy. Okay, so also I can measure how much should I reduce. I can do a measurement here. Just click here and then click a second point, 0.068. Do you think that I would have quality in my printer to print a reduction guide just to take out this little piece? No. If it's a big reduction, then I'm also defending the position that we don't need to print a guide, but you should look, you should measure, and then you should reduce. And if you want, take a scan. Take a scan right now, place it here, and you're going to you can compare in the 3D viewer as well. So this is a way to do a cross section. I'm going to clear the cross section and do another one very interesting, which is an horizontal cross section. Bring this to the papilla level, a little bit below, and look at this beautiful image here. We are looking from the top, the initial situation. We're looking now to the veneer and your preparation. So basically now, if I want to know on the vestibular how thick this veneer is going to be, 0.44. So this is very nice to see the geometry of your prep. Not only we need space, but we need a geometry. This means this veneer has an insertion axis. This is going to be the insertion axis from the front. So I cannot have preparations that is going to create retentions here. And this visualization here will give me exactly, let's just cut this central here. This will give me the exactly view of what I have to achieve. And I can then move down to the gray area again, to the invasive area. And look, this line is getting closer. Now it's getting very, very close. And now, wow, my veneer is going beyond the initial. So this is the reduction area looking from the above, exactly this little area. I have a way to measure this area, but it doesn't mean anything for me right now. But it's just to highlight for you so you can see the invasive area right there. So whatever is in yellow here is natural, is the initial tooth that, because of my project, I'm telling through my project that this needs to be reduced before you go for the prep. It's very little, 0.068 as we saw. And again, we can do a vertical cross section and look from the side. 2 more things here. I can enable clipping plane, which means we cut all this, and if I turn, look how beautiful. It's the same 2D view, but now in 3D. And I can see my initial, my prep, and my veneer. Beautiful vision. And if I do the next here is invert clipping plane, so it's going to show the other half. And I can do the same, look into this other half, which is exactly this half here. So if I want to see both halves, I can do this, zoom in here, and I have the right and the left side here. Very interesting. Now, if I do not enable clip planning, this showing you it's a plane, not a line, but if we look from the front, it's gonna look like a line. This is why we cannot just use this to check all the teeth, because if I put this on the canine, nothing here looks like a canine because it's cutting the canine like this. And usually what I have to do, if I want to analyze the canine, I should cut the canine this way here. See? I'm sorry. And move here. So pretty difficult to be moving this. Now I'm perpendicular to the canine, and now I can see the shape of my canine here. So this shows me I don't have a veneer here, so only two lines. The initial line and your preparation. Okay? So what usually I do, let's say I want to see 21. I'm going to place 21 extremely perpendicular to the screen and then do the cut. Vertical, zoom in, pan, hold the mouse wheel and click and you can see everything. Measure whatever you want to measure. And then you can move these measurements, these little points here to measure everything you want. If I want to see now the lateral, instead of trying to move this angle and changing this, I'm going to clear. Now I'm going to put the lateral very perpendicular to my screen, and I'm going to cut again a very straight vertical line. And I can see now my canine here, my lateral here. Okay? So very easy to use. Get used to these cuts and movements. If I'm with my mouse here, I can move this one. If my mouse here, I can move this one. So it's basically two windows. They are resizable, so I can make this a little bit small. I can put this to the left, to the right. So this is why I like that you can have a 55-inch television. So the day you're prepping, imagine that after you prepped this tooth, you can see, or you're going to prep this lateral, you can see what you want to do. So that means you can definitely start to creating what we call a preparation strategy before you do it. So very nice. You can use this for surgery, for gum surgery, for implant position, for ortho. So all the information in 3D. There are a number of other commands here. You can see the initial was gray, so that's an STL, and the preparation was colored. That's a DCM because this was scanned on 3Shape. But this software also reads PLY. PLY is the extension of a file that is in STL with colors. So many scanners in the market now exports PLY. Okay. I like to export one STL and one color because then I can see exactly this effect here. I can see what is the invasion of my projects. I can see the highlights of colors. So I have three colors: tooth color, gum and initial color, and I have the gray color of my STL. And this gives me a very nice way to visualize, communicate with my patient, or communicate with the lab or your colleague. Okay? You have also a straight way to measure distances, so you can just click there and measure. Okay? This is the distance command. Then the viewers, then the zoom, which you can do with the mouse. And here is a very interesting one that you can see the mesh, and we can analyze how many as many triangles you have, especially when you have a curvature. It will give you the resolution of your scanner. So here we have very little triangles, and then this scanner is going to give me an extremely high resolution. So there's a limit to those triangles, and these triangles means we are able to analyze the integrity of that mesh. And one more command will be this color command. So if I'm looking to a DCM and I want to see more contrast because the colors can really confuse my eyes, I can just click here and it becomes gray. So I can see, usually I like this command to see the geometry and the surface of my preps, of your preps, and then you can definitely see a better contrast, because usually you are used to a model, and a gypsum model is just one color. Anyway, it's a useful tool if you have a DCM or PLY to really take out the colors. So this concludes our 3D viewer workshop. I would suggest that you use this to control your preps. Once you do your preparation, you can bring the mockup. You can maybe scan the mockup in the mouth. Then you can align this mockup with your first preparation. So let's say you already prepped the tooth, the teeth, it's like here, and you already have the preparation, the scan of your mockup. So then you would have this situation, but with all the teeth. And you can immediately here check your prep. So the initial will not be here, you don't need the initial, but here I can just go and check my prep. How I'm going to check it? I'm going to see distances. See? So for my veneer, I am now 0.5, so it's okay. And I can also see the geometry. So if I go like this, I can see if my geometry is correct, and I can then, of course, I will be visualizing all the veneers here, the full project. So this way you can check your preps, make sure the quality control is there, and you can have this type of control. If you see areas that you need to, prep a little bit more, you just go back to the patient's mouth, retouch the whole, all the areas that you already inspected, and then make sure you can scan again the final prep, bring it here, your final prep, and then compare to your project. See if you have all the areas respected, also the geometry, and you're ready to send this preparation to the lab. So in this way, you could finalize by, okay, I am sure that this preparation is perfect, and I don't have to recall my patient back. I have enough preparation in the cervical area, so I'm not going to have an over contour, and all the details of a very nice prep. Thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Thank you.